had hyperinflation in the past.
And how about Japan?
I don't know of any hyperinflation in Japan in its history to the level that we're talking about, which is really, in Brazil, the hyperinflation was your money was worth less by the afternoon.
Right.
When I went there the first time, it was during this era, and I was told to keep all my money in dollars and only cash the dollars in to buy something at the very last minute.
Okay.
So that's
but inflation basically hurts us. Everything gets more expensive, but we don't necessarily immediately get higher wages.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's a typical effect. Unless what happens is you get a bunch of labor contracts that come into play during a hyperinflation era where you essentially ratcheted automatically. So you do get higher wages.
It's always going to trail, though.
You would think.
Yeah.
But the point is that it's not a situation you want. But what they would like, I think, is not that anyway. I mean, that would be ludicrous. But what they'd like is, by the way, talking about the Zimbabwe money, we haven't gotten any trillion to 10 trillion. We stopped getting the sample bills.
I still have 100 billion, I think.
You have a trillion, I think.
Right. Something like that.
I have the same bill. It's like, I think we lost our listener that was getting us those bills.
He's dead now. He died of hunger. He died of hunger.
So they would like to get it to crank up a little bit because it's
essentially
because we've got the interest rates down at the bottom of the scale, so there's no control. If we go into a deflation thing, there's nothing. There's I don't know. I just think that it's easier to control if you get like some sort of controlled inflation around 3-4%. It would be nice. They think.
So a couple of things changed in this bill at the very last minute, which was not aired on C-SPAN, I might add. They had these committee meetings and, here's the bill. All right, let's sign it quick before anyone can read it. Remember we were supposed to put bills on the internet for 3 days? Whatever happened to that?
Oh, that was just another political lie.
So they have in the bill, they've decided, we've got to tackle the derivatives issue. Because as the president himself said, we have him on record, we played it on the show, the total derivatives market, which of course is a huge pile of fake, is $600 trillion. It's probably more. It's probably a quadrillion, but let's just say $600 trillion is the real number. They're going to start curbing this stuff, and they want to change it. All this talk about we have to make it over the counter, so it's trackable with an exchange. Well, they're going to do that. Do you know when, John?
2050.
No, 2022. You were close enough. Like 2022, 12 years from now. It's like, everybody who's there now, they don't give a crap.
I didn't know this. This is very funny.
Yeah, it's like, we'll do it in 2022.
Yeah, we got these issues with this derivative stuff. We got to do something about it. Yeah, okay, we'll do something about it.
We'll do it in 2022.
Let's see. Let me look at my actuary tables. Yeah, I'll be dead 2 years by then. So
let me see where. I'll have time in 12 years from now when I'm
money to be made.
In Paraguay, rich. So this is just funny. And no, I don't know where's the.
What gets me is I don't know why they every time anyone brings it up they skirt the issue. Why didn't they just reinstitute Glass-Steagall? That's the situation.
Another thing they could have done. Yeah, they didn't do that either.
Yeah,
they could have done that. Would have been easy to do in this. But no,
here what it used to be. Clinton repealed it, by the way, got rid of it. Let's put it back in play.
And if you listen to the president's speech, it's all about these horrible companies who are gouging the consumer with fine print you can't read and credit card fees. And
I remember that.
And meanwhile, it's. The majority of the bill is all about protection for the banks. And what it's going to happen is they're going to squeeze out the little banks, the little small community banks. They're going to get hosed because the bankers are now in charge. And they run, is it really true that 60% of our GDP is banking? Is financial services?
That's pretty pathetic.
Yeah. So we're doomed.
Yeah, I think so. I don't understand it, but that's just the way. I mean, these guys, I think it's almost like it's a sinking ship, and so people are looking for the lifeboats. and creating these phony baloney bills to protect themselves. I mean, this is the same kind of thing. This all began, in my opinion, with Sarbanes-Oxley, which showed that you could do this. I mean, Sarbanes-Oxley was a bill which is partially responsible for ruining the economy. It's a bill that does nothing more than protect. It's a protection bill. It protects public accountancy. Certified public accountants are now, they can just do whatever they want because they're protected because of Sarbanes-Oxley, because they got their tit in a ringer during the Enron and MCI and all these other crazy
because they
things
were approving all of their financial statements and they were basically lying.
Yeah, and so they got blamed, and a number of firms got busted and shut down, and Arthur Andersen is gone, and so they said, what are we going to do? We can't have this happen again. So they came up with this crazy law which protects them. It's all it does, and it puts the
burden on the company.
The burden on the company, mainly the CEO and the board.
Right.
So they have to be your own accountant, and then you have to give these people money to sign something at the end of the day. They don't have to do any work anymore. It's ridiculous.
So I know what we're doing wrong. We shouldn't be telling people that the financial meltdown is going to happen. That's why they're not sending us any money to support the show. They're holding on to it. Screw that. And then
this is my last dollar.
And there was a great article in Bloomberg, which I actually missed. It's from 2 weeks ago. Remember, the United Nations came out with a report that said that a lot of the money from the banking industry came from drug money, and that actually that's what helped stop the complete financial meltdown.
Well, by the way, now this is an alert for the No Agenda Book Club people. If you ever get the chance to watch this, I have a copy for you, or I may have given you a copy of a documentary called Cocaine Cowboys. It runs every so often on the independent networks. And Cocaine Cowboys actually brings this to light even more than anything you're going to possibly say, because all the banks in Florida apparently were funded as money laundering operations in the 70s and much of the 80s because of drugs.
So Bloomberg Markets Magazine, in its August 2010 issue, reports how Wachovia and Bank of America laundered drug money, hundreds of millions of dollars for Mexican cocaine trade.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, it's like I sent $3,300 to my European PayPal account and it got frozen because of, and now the SWIFT regulations, and, the little guy can't send anything anywhere because you're tracked and you're God knows, your phone is tapped. Oh, you might be sending money to terrorist organizations, and now the United States can see all of the financial transaction records of the European Union. That got signed into law. Which,
by the way, kills me. It's hilarious. How did the Europeans put up with that?
They don't give a crap. They're not there for the people. The people don't even know this, John. They don't even know this. Meanwhile, Wachovia admitted it did not do enough to spot illicit funds in handling $378 billion of Mexican currency exchange houses between 2004 and 2007. Yeah, we've got to do a better job. Yeah, I can't believe we missed that. I can't believe we missed that $500 billion. And Bloomberg just reporting on this. The banks are whitewashing, laundering drug money.
Oh, who knew? I've talked to our vice presidents about it, and they're paying attention.
Yeah. We're gonna change all that. We're gonna fix it.
It won't be happening anymore.
We're gonna follow the rules. Bank of America takes its anti-money laundering responsibilities very seriously, says Shirley Norton, her spokeshole for Bank of America. Can't someone go to jail? Just say if someone went to jail, I'd at least feel a little bit better about it.
No.
Nah, that's not going to happen.
No, if it was a small banks in South Florida, even then, I don't think, if you saw that documentary, I don't know of anybody.
Cocaine Cowboys?
They'll fight you. Cocaine Cowboys. Great documentary.
Well, I remember, because back in, this must have been 80s? 70s,
I think 80s? This late 70s, mid 80s, something like that.
Because I remember Doc McGee, who was he's now manager for Gene Simmons, which is kind of sad. He's on that Family Jewels reality show. But he at the time was one of the biggest managers in rock and roll. He was managing Motley Crue and Bon Jovi and